My friend, this is your course. I made it so you can personalize it to meet your exact needs. So our next step is to identify what you want to get out of it. It turns out that the best way to get into that is to ask a lot of questions. I'm going to talk you through some questions, okay? You can press pause on my face. I don't mind. Write your answers in your journal as we go, or if you want, you can listen and then later you can journal, or you can pause right now and print out the handout attached to this lesson and write on that. So many choices. Here we go. The first question is, what apps are trapping you? Think of apps you open frequently where it's hard to break away. You think, I'll just spend 5 more minutes, and that turns into a half hour. We're looking for things like Instagram or Words with Friends or Pinterest or even the Mail app or Messages. Think about websites. If, say, you're losing an hour a day on the New York Times games section or, x-ratedanklelovers.com, any websites like that. List as many places, apps, websites as come to mind. Next, name the behaviors that you do, the actions that keep you on your phone. Actions like scrolling or clicking on links or binge watching. Now, think about behaviors you do that irritate people in your own life. Your family, your coworkers, your friends. Are they giving you any feedback about your phone use? Is your spouse saying that you having your phone at the table at dinner is a problem? Or maybe you're scrolling social media while watching a movie with your kids and it's hurting their feelings. Think about these people as like the canaries in the coal mine. They're saying, hey, tweet, you've got a problem. Write those down. Next, think about things you're doing that irritate you. You yourself. If you're like, I can't believe I just spent 45 minutes looking for tooth whitening toothpaste on Amazon. Capture that on your list. Write down doing research on Amazon. Now we'll dig a little deeper. Why are you turning to your phone? Emotionally. What emotional states are driving you to your phone? Okay. This is a heavier question, but we've got to answer it. For me, my main troublesome apps were social media ones and gaming. I call them troublesome apps, but we can also call them traps. TRAPPS. Yes, I spell that with 2 P's in my mind and all caps. Traps. So, about my own personal traps. For me, social media involved Instagram and Reddit. Gaming involved a lot of games. It's actually a little bit painful for me to list them by name, so I won't. I'm just going to keep moving. But when I stopped and took a deeper look at why I was turning to my phone, it was a few things. Sometimes I was tired and I needed my brain to wake up. Looking at the lights and colors would simply wake me up. I'd be in a fog and I'd look at my phone and it would help me remember that I was busy. It was sort of like, hey, be anxious. You have a lot to do. Wake up. So I'd sort of panic and I'd snap to. Sometimes I looked at my phone because I was bored. This is a very common one. I used to scroll social media when I was waiting in line or just even at a stoplight. I was just bored. The trickiest one for me was that I turned to mobile games when I was feeling overwhelmed. I would look at my to-do list and I'd feel afraid and kind of paralyzed and disheartened by how much I had to do. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And it was really overwhelming. So I would take out my phone and I'd play games for like 2 hours in the morning. It's not logical. I know that. But I would sit there and I would play until my feelings of dread and overwhelm turned into shame. Because shame I could handle. Like I knew the emotion of shame. I'd be shamed and kind of emotionally dead. And for some reason, that state was easier for me to tolerate than being overwhelmed and anxious. I'm being really honest with you here because it's this kind of pure, simple, emotional honesty that is going to set you free. I will also now tell you a few things that I've heard from other people that I've worked with that might resonate with you. So, some people turn to social media because they're angry about the direction the world is going in. They want to vent that anger by posting or feel it when they read what other people have said who feel the same way or feel a different way. Or they want to argue with people who have very different opinions from their own. A lot of people turn to dating apps because they're lonely, or they turn to porn apps because they're a different kind of lonely. It's okay. It's all okay. Shame is the enemy, my friend. No one is blaming you for being addicted to any of this. Okay, what else? Some people rely on their phones because they feel afraid and they want to have control over at least some element of their life. They feel like if they can get their schedule managed perfectly or hit inbox 0, they'll be in control. Or if they can monitor their child's movement on a tracking app and text with their kid all the time and see what their kid is up to, they feel better about letting go. They feel more in control. So, in terms of emotions, why are you turning to your phone? What are the emotional states that are likely to make you reach for your phone? I've mentioned being tired, bored, overwhelmed, angry, lonely, and the need to be in control. Which, if any of those, do you feel like you have? And what other ones? Okay, I got one more question. Shake it off. Shake it off. Reset. This is a happy question, okay? Last question. What gift are you trying to give yourself? What are you hoping to get from this course? You might write, I want to get my ability to focus back, or I want to spend more quality time with the people I love, or I'm tired of being ashamed of my phone behavior. Do a little writing on what you want to get out of this course. And I have to tell you something, you do have to do this lesson, okay? You know that saying, you only get out what you put in? Well, it's not actually true of this course because you are going to get way more out of this course than what you put in. But this stuff, this part right here, where you get clear on what your trouble areas are and why you're doing this course, this is the foundation on which the whole course is built. You can't really proceed until you figure this out. So take your time, give this some thought, put your pen to paper. You can do it, and I can't wait to see you in the next lesson.